Welcome to another episode of diaXpora. Today we have a guest whose story is nothing short of inspiring. He has worn many hats: scholar, author, lecturer, entrepreneur, and a community leader. From earning a 100% scholarship at Carnegie Mellon to founding a thriving IT network in Australia, he has done it all. Khang, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be on the show. So it's good to talk to the audience as well. And I hope you can take something away from today.
Yeah, and you have a diverse career spanning from authorship to lecturer and to entrepreneurship. Can you take us back to the time when you decided to move to Australia from Vietnam and pursue your career in IT?
Yeah, so I totally starting thinking about IT career when I was in high school. So I was madly in love with mathematics at that time. Doing different math problems, math challenges. It's very geeky things to do. Yes, I was a lot of idea, love doing that stuff. But I know that like the career in mathematics doesn't look very striving for me, they're very good for me. So I think computer science that time is very close to that. There's a lot of logical thinking, there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of new idea that you can work on. So if you're from my high school, I decided to pursue either computer science or IT. And then I got into RMIT Vietnam, which is an Australian university in Vietnam. So they have campus there. It's an English-speaking environment. It's a Western, modern curriculum and everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like it seems like you were a brilliant student since the beginning, and then you decided to utilize it in a better way. But yeah, like also you got a 100% scholarship in Carnegie Mellon, and which is one of the Ivy League universities in the world.
That's right,
So like, could you tell us more about it? Like how you made your application stand out and how you got into Carnegie Mellon?
Yeah, I think that getting coming like a lot of things in life, you going to entrepreneur, a lot of things. It's about luck. But I think that this is about both preparation, keep adapting, keep improving, and then luck happen. So I have failed about like 40 different scholarship applications before that. Not just scholarship, but just like okay, like admission application. I applied to National University of Singapore, the NUS, NTU Singapore. I failed each school 3 times. And then I failed a couple of schools in London, in UK as well. And then when I got into Carnegie, it was all very lucky. So I met the head of the school in education exhibitions in Vietnam. And I talked to him and I asked about scholarship. He asked me questions about to pitch to him about how I'm a good candidate, how can I be successful and bring luck and maybe brand to his new campus in Adelaide. And he gave me the scholarship right in the spot. So after 15 minutes
Okay.
talking, yeah, an
That's,
interview
that's
in the
interesting.
spot, yeah.
And was it your plan or was it your target to get into the Ivy League universities or
No, I
it
didn't
just
know that.
happened?
Yeah, I didn't know that there is a Carnegie Mellon in Australia. So I just walked into the exhibition. I talked to different university. I explored different opportunities, and I see, oh, there's a Carnegie Mellon in Australia. We go and talk to them. I didn't know that there is the head on the school there. I didn't know. I just go and talk to them. I ask them questions, just like any other universities. And then I asked them about scholarship. They said they have one. I asked about the eligibility, what's the required. And then at that time, he started asking me back questions about, okay, what's your applications? What's your academic achievement? What's your plan, your career? And it's just a very casual talk. But I think it's an interview for him. So he kept asking me questions. And I actually print some of the paperwork with me and show him, okay, this is what I've done. And then, yeah, I got it.
Wow. Yeah. And getting into one of those universities could be really challenging. Like, I remember some of my friends who made it to Columbia and Princeton. I used to look at their SOPs, and it was like 50 pages. They have written down their stories about what they did and what was the motivation. So yeah, that really is challenging. And yeah, you made it. So many students like have a confusion between whether they want to go to academia or industry, and you're someone who have been successful in both these segments.
Yeah.
So how do you manage to crack the code?
Yeah, I don't say that I was successful in academia. So I was teaching at the university, was more like a casual lecturer. So at the time, I would have to have the same question: should I follow research or coursework? Should I go into the PhD roadmap, or should I just go back to the industry? And I try it. So I gave like research in maybe 3 months. So when I study at RMIT Vietnam, I have an experience here for 4 months. And I have a couple of goals, there. Like, okay, I want to explore Australia. I want to explore Melbourne. But I also want to explore if I'm good fit for researching. Even though I like Newton, I like to do like some innovative stuff. I want to try them. But when I got into the research I did at MIT, and I talked to a couple other uni as well, I just don't feel like it's a good fit for me. I don't have any problem with it. I just, okay, I want to do some research. I want to have some new thing, but I'm not that patient about, okay, doing the research for a year. It's a lot of experiments for a year or a couple of months to get something. And I want faster results. I want to try something, see the results in maybe a week or 2 weeks, and then adjusting things. And I'm happy with failure, but I just need to know if I'm in the right track in maybe shorter amount of time. So even though like, I think a lot of things in the research built to me, I just not 100% into it. And then after that, I try with entrepreneurship, try with startup, and I feel that it's a lot about me. Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting journey. And when you decided like you don't wanna go for higher studies or pursue a PhD, so you thought of moving into a startup, and in the startup world, like there's a very less chance of people getting successful, and I have seen a pattern among startup founders and entrepreneurs, like they always see that there's some gap in the traditional education system, and they try to bring up a solution to fill those gaps. So in your case, did you find such gaps before and you came to a realization, yeah, that there needs to be a solution that we need to address over here, and that led to the creation of Classcom, your startup?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things. I think from my experience that there will be a lot of problems in every industry. Right? And then the student can see it, anybody can see it, but how do you solve it? You need to understand a lot deeper than just the problem you see. Because for example, the same problem in any industry, in education, for example, supporting students, they can have many different ways to solve it. And even your solution need to be like achievable and to be supported by other people. So you have a lecturer, you have like unit chair or course coordinator to support students. You also have an academic advisor from the university as well. You have their friends as well. So there are many different ways. So even something that you see maybe a problem, that's really identify the correct problem, but is the solution a good fit? So in startup we have like two different phases. You have problem solutions. So you need to make sure that your solution solves the problem. But then you also need to look at, is it market, I think, what is it called? Product market fit. Are you having a product right now? Are you into the solution? The solution can be good for one school, can be good for one lecturer, can be good for that scenario. But do you have products? So product usually mean that you can sell same thing to many different people. You can solve the similar problem for many different people. And not just at RMIT, not just at University of Melbourne, but also maybe UNSW, maybe University of Sydney, and etc. And then if you can solve a bigger problem, not just Australia, but America as well, then you have bigger market. But if you just sell like, okay, a couple of problems here and there, then it's not good enough. So that's something that I think I learned over the years. So my plans before I start my business were actually to learn a lot about the market. So I actually spent about 2 years doing a lot of market research in 2016, 2018, and then I had a job in university just to understand more about it. And then we tried with a couple of different solutions. So currently we have some roadmap right now, but it's not very stable. It's not just striving yet. So just be honest. But I think this is the thing that we do about entrepreneurship. You're not gonna get it overnight. And I think that's a lot of things people misstart about that. Okay, you always see the overnight success. There are overnight success. There's Facebook, but before that, there are a lot of learning. But even for Apple, you see, Apple nowadays is huge, one of the biggest, and they support the world's biggest company, tech company and company in over the world. But before that, you look at Steve Jobs. He has been doing a lot of learning. He has been doing a lot of trying. He has been trying this and that's why he understands more. He learned more, and then even that Apple at the beginning isn't very success. There's some success story, but then it fails. That's why Steve Jobs is kicked out, and then he has to go to Pizza, another company, and then he got back, and then he bought him back again, and that's the story after that.
Yeah.
So there's always a lot of learning and failures.
True. Like, yeah, always with the startup, like people would have millions of ideas, but they have to ensure like that idea is a right product market fit for the industry, and also like whether there's a market for it.
That's right. And
Australia.
also, some idea can be executed by you, but some cannot be because you need to have like good operations. So a lot of things is about operation, and that is about the capital you have. Some idea require a lot of money. Some idea require a lot of knowing the right people. Some idea require to just born into the right family. You know, there's a lot. So I know that for startup, some require okay, you just need to work hard, do the right thing. But there's a lot of business story that you need to be okay, born into the right family. You have to have the right connections. You have to be lucky. So it's just diverse. So I wouldn't say that okay, you need to be born rich, but not every idea is applicable to you. So you need to think about okay, is this idea is even though it may be a good product market fit, but can you execute it? Can you find the right people to execute it?
Yeah, execution is the key. And so with your startup Classcom, could you please tell like what is it about and what you're trying to solve here?
Yeah. I think in the past we tried to do chatbot. So we have been iterating and by voting. So in the past we've been doing chatbot, but with the new chatbot, we're not really be able to compete with it. So it was not really a success. It was okay at that time, but it wasn't very good because before ChatGPT, and then when ChatGPT come out, there's no way we can compete to that. So we have to really craft that idea. So that's very normal in startup where you need to throw something away and it start again. So the current one that we are trying to explore is still in the early product market fit. So we're not having product market fit yet. So we try to do analytics for a lot of learning. So using AI for that as well. And I try to talk to a lot of schools in Australia and in Vietnam to see if it's a good idea. Is it solving people problem?
And what was the chatbot addressing? Like what kind of questions were it addressing?
So we try to get the information from the forum in the learning management system. You have the forum that student can ask question and that the teacher can answer it. And then we try to see, okay, if the teacher already answered this question, can we return that? We can also look at last year informations, and maybe we can answer, okay, allow the teacher to set up an FAQ, list of frequently asked questions, and the chatbot can answer it. So that was the idea. I think that's coming from my own problem. I think that's why we talked a lot about, okay, that can be my problem. Can we solve it? I think that is a problem for sure. And because a lot of time, especially in assignment time, so the way higher education industry works is that you have like a couple of assignments. And before the assignment, nobody asks questions. Any assignment, a lot of questions. After assignment, just go down. So in average, you may not see a lot of engagement. In average, you may not see a lot of questions. But in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks in the whole semester, the number of questions just go up a lot. And people during that time, it's close to the deadline, students put more pressure on the teaching team to get the answer fast as possible. So there's a lot of pressure as well. So that automation can help. So that's definitely some kind of problem that need a solution for. But I think that's how if you look at it from product market fit. Will the school happy to pay for that? they already that this is the challenge or this is the responsibility of the teaching team. So we have to talk to them to see if there's a budget for it as well. And then maybe some lecturer may not be very familiar or maybe very comfortable with setting up a chatbot to answer it for them. So they own kind of things like that in the problem market. And then what are market fit files that you need to work on.
Yeah, and when you started this, like it could be very helpful for students like who are not confident enough to ask questions in classes to the lecturer. So so they could just ask the chatbot. And so now with the coming of ChatGPT, I guess most of the students or the audiences would refer to asking ChatGPT. So you said you have pivoted to a different segment.
That's right.
And what's that?
I think, we call it we're looking at, so we're not building a big product yet. We're still in a very MVP phase. It's a consent startup, have minimum viable product. So we try to build in different analytics for dashboard for the schools. So to look at how the student is doing, and then sometimes using that to communicate with the parents. Okay, the student is doing well, the student getting the pass, the student is not doing really well this week, and over time, how the student performance going. And I'm really looking at not just the analytics for the students, but like is it helpful for the parents as well? But it's more cultural job. So culture is different in higher education because it's parent involvement. So if you can get the parent to involve and to support and to talk to the student, it can change the academic journey of the student. For higher education, there's no more parent involvement, so you mostly have to work with the student now.
Right. Right. And also with the starting of a startup, there are so many things involved. Like it might be the technical challenges, it might be managing people, it might be talking to your customers, customer service, or you get your company registered, get your legal involved. So how did you start with all of this? Like, and how do you find the right people?
The answer is you cannot. It's really, I think the problem with business, and if you look at a lot of business advices, is that if they're coming from a very personal perspective, but every industry is different. Every kind of business might be different. For some business, you need to register a business first. You need to get privacy, legal things in place. Some of them you might need customer service first. Some of them you might just build a product first and don't have to worry about everything else. And some of them you need to set up a supply chain system first. So I think that if you don't have experience with business, it's okay if you're not doing well to be. I didn't. Because like you said, there's a lot of things to do. But after a while, we understand which one is more important for the business we want to build, for the industry we are in. So we know, okay, this time for the new business, I haven't even set up the business yet, but I still have the connection on those people, on the teacher, on IT managers that I can talk to, can gather the feedback, gather the requirement, and then after that, I can have, okay, I can understand what type of MVB. MVB is a very, very difficult concept because you want it to be minimal.
Yeah.
But the thing about building a minimal product is that you don't know what is minimal. You don't know what is, because it's easy to say, okay, we just need 3 features. But if you talk to 20 customers, they want 3 different features. I don't know. Yeah. So you need to understand, okay, what is the most common feature among those 20 customers. And then, okay, for one feature, it can be, okay, and then each feature in terms of technology can be designed or built differently. So you're trying to maximize the MVP, but minimize the work. So this is what a lot of experience. So I think that you should set yourself some kind of deadline for building software. For me, 3 months, 6 months, you have to release it. Because after that, you're not doing MVP anymore. Just try to serve too many customers. And then so I think that technical people used to have this concept around this bias. I think they because they're not very comfortable talking to customer, and they only talk to 2, 3, or 4 customer. Get a list of requirements, and they're a bit scared, so they just try to serve the customer the best. So they build very big product, and then feed the back to the customer. I'm sure that they're happy, but if you are good you need a good product manager or somebody experienced. You can talk to the customer. You can understand what is the minimal that you need to build. You always have to go back to what's the core that you need to build to serve the customer. Because some customer doesn't even need log in and log out. Some customer doesn't even need you to have a server. So that different way to do it in technology. For example, if we do analytics, so sometimes if you do it in the traditional way, you set up in the cloud, set up log in, log out, a lot of technical feature. That takes a lot of time as well, but it doesn't serve the customer purpose. The customer already have a database somewhere. The question is, can we grab a database and do something offline and then return the result back to them every week? Maybe that's all they need, and that's all they want to buy for. And then the whole automation can happen later. But all of this, you can only learn after a while. So it's okay to miss that. It's okay to be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you start small and you understand your customer base first.
Yeah.
From there, you try to scale it up, and then you could grow your network around that.
That's right.
Yeah, and also now students have seen, and even many people have seen with the coming of AI, like the technology space is increasing at an exponential rate, and everything that we know now is been constantly redefined. So what should a student should focus on, like in the deep mastery of a single skill, or should it be focusing on like the like a set of different competencies?
I think that it's a very deep question. This question have been way before AI, have been for 20, 40 years. When we ask, which one is better? Is it go for specialists? Is it for more generalists? It's in the term in the career HR sector is like that. I think that you need to master AI. You need to understand how to use AI, what's the limitation of AI, and how to leverage AI for your benefits. So, but if you look at like 30 years ago, if you look at building a website, it's just purely HTML. But if you can do HTML and basic CSS, you get 60, 70,000 a year. Nowadays, if you only know that, you don't even pass my first year degree, my first year bachelor degree. Because in the first year, still don't know can build a website by HTML and CSS. So the landscape of technology has shifted so much in the last 30 years. So in the 1995, you know some basic HTML and coding stuff. You can get a good job. Nowadays, you need to understand a lot more. And one day, a lot more library, a lot more automation for you. You don't have to sit down and then just writing a lot of things anymore. And then in the past, you had to do it on a text editor, just like a Word. And nowadays, there's a lot of IDE to support you as well. So things will make it moving. So I think that there are a couple of things that is always there. So in terms of technology and technical skill, you need to improve yourself. You need to learn a new tool. But also there's something that is less prone to change. People are less adapted to change. Business are less adapted to change. So they look at in the education, it's a very old industry. I think that 500 years ago, we have somebody talking to students to teach them something. Now that we have something similar. We have somebody to teach something, but just the information is different, the experience is different, but the core business, the core idea is the same. The people will not change that much. So if you understand about the business requirement, how they operate, how the people adapt to things, and they use the technology to solve the problem, you're on a good track. I think because we need to look at technology as a tool. So even though I am an IT community leader, but yes, the IT is more the tool for other business.
Yeah, that was really insightful. So there's one more very age-old question that you might have heard, but we would like to hear your opinion on it. The debate about degree versus experience. So in the Australian market, what do you think employers prefer? Is it the experience or is it formal education?
That's a good question. So I think that at the CB level, people do look at your degree, and people do look at your GBI if you perform really badly. But above some level, if you have to achieve on 5, like if we talk about my GBI or 4, if you achieve on 5, achieve on 6, achieve on 7, not that much different. 4 on maybe if you have the perfect score, some people give you another look at that. But for academia, that's different story. Because the academia is the one that produced that. So they always look at that. So whenever I apply for teaching job or lecturing position, they always look at my academia. They always look at my GPA. So it depends. It depends on who's looking at that. And I think some industry is a lot more conservative than other industry. So IT industry usually less conservative because we are more innovative people. We have to deal with new things every day. So we less be concerned about the degree than the experience. So I think it's all depends. So I think from what I hear, some of the audit, accounting, maybe some of the are actually a lot more about formal education, about degree, about certificate. So you have to understand what is the requirement of in that industry.
Okay, interesting. So it depends from what industry sector you're trying to aim at.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
and
what
if it's
kinds of companies as well. Banks usually more conservative. But I think banking is more conservative.
so like if someone is going into academia, so their formal education would matter more than the experience aspect. But if someone is going into a more field like let's say startup, they might choose experience over.
And I think even banking would be more conservative than other IT companies. So I know companies that would not even look at your degree, but there are some even banking, in finance sector, in government sector that might look at your degree.
So for a young student who is fresh out of the college, what would be your advice to them? Like how should they crack it into the IT industry?
That's a good question. I think there are many different levels in IT. There's say engineering level. You know what I mean? If you know how to do programming really well, just do a lot of programming challenges, trying GitHub, performing on that. So I would like tell student everybody there are two questions. Either you sell yourself as an employee. So if applying some job is basically you selling the skill. And there's no problem with that. But there's just always two questions that you need to ask yourself. Can you do the job well? And certainly can you convince the other people that can you do the job well? Yeah. Because sometimes there's a difference in that. Yeah, in the perfect world, there should not be a difference. But a lot of times it's different. So if for some people, they can do the job really well. They just don't know how to represent it confidently. They don't know how to talk about their achievement in the right way. You don't want to oversell yourself, but you don't want to undersell yourself. You need to learn how to sell it. So a lot of, especially for IT people, a lot of technical people, selling yourself or selling your achievement seem to be like they're not very happy about that. They think that if they do a good job, that's top for itself. You don't know programming because you know about it. But we live in a world that information is not perfect. What you know about yourself is not what I know about you.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to convince other people. There are a couple of different ways to do that. You can charm. I think in the past on that you can try Stack Overflow, answer a lot of questions there. You can join GitHub, participate in open source. You can join out the community. You can networking so that people know who you are. So I think that's a good thing about networking and relationship in Australia. It's more about you can trust and you can do the job.
Yeah.
So if you can have that, so the true passion, you can do the good job, and people can show that you can do a good job in your career space.
Yeah.
Because like either otherwise, if you don't do a good job, but you can sell yourself very well, a lot of people can do that, then you can get a job. But it may not be sustainable in the long run. Yeah, because you cannot do the job well, people will figure it out why.
True.
Yeah, and if you do a really good job, but you don't know how to sell, well, you just understand, you just not getting the right compensation for yourself. Think about it for yourself. If you have spent 60 hours, 80 hours of it improving yourself, and people say, he's media, he's not good. Do you think it's fair for you? No. So learn a bit about selling yourself, learn a bit about talking to people, just to get people to understand. I don't say that to oversell yourself, but to sell yourself at the right level. And selling yourself at the right level doesn't mean you need to talk a lot. You just need to understand how to communicate effectively. Just talk about right amount of work, right amount of information to the people.
Yeah. Do you think like selling is a very underrated skill? Because it's not taught in formal education. It's only you get to learn about it when you're working. And I have heard, like I have read, like once you go in the senior management position, every job is like a kind of like a sales job.
Yeah, if you work with people and sell, but I think the people looking at sales because when you interact in the day to day, selling is really bad. People always try to push it. Hey, buy this product. Good, you want to fucking me, I need money. But that's not the way you sell. You know, the way you sell is you understand the people's problem 1st. So sell and service is the same thing. You try to service the person.
Yeah.
And if you are a good salesman, you need to be able to sell the right thing to the right people. Because if you know, okay, trying to sell you this one, for example, and you don't need it, why wasting my time and your time on this? And then we might you feel bad about it. We might you feel bad about selling. So if I call you for something you don't need, you feel bad that I'm just wasting your time and I'm wasting my time as well. But that's not good selling. But selling is the best thing. You understand that you need something. I understand you need something. And I bring that to you with the right price, with the right benefits. And then if you see that, oh, okay, for example, if somebody come to you and sell an iPhone, brand new iPhone for $500, are you happy? You're very happy. Because you get something good value, with low price, you know? You're making customer happy. If you can bring the more benefit than they're paying you. If you think about selling, it's like that. It's like servicing. Try to service them, try to help people. And if they buy from you and they're happy, that means they're getting a lot more value from you than the amount they pay you.
Yeah.
And that's good for both sides. Because I think like for some people, some salesmen, they're just so pushy. They don't even care if you need something. They try to push you. I think this is a lie of that, you know. If you cause on this lie, you keep selling something that people don't need, and you keep lying to people, you keep saying good stuff that is not there, then that's bad. But at the professional level, as a management level, good salesmen mean knowing what people want, knowing what people need, and saying just the right thing for them. That requires a lot of people connection, of people understanding. And that's actually something that you need to understand.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the skill you will only kind of develop when you're in field, when you're out there with people, interacting them, and not by just like reading books or having a formal education. Right?
I think that every time you talk to people, every time you see people, asking yourself a question, what these people need. Putting them first. And then second question is, how do I service those people and attract someone back to me? But the first question needs to be, what do they need first?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people nowadays, especially if you see on I think on Facebook a lot, people talking about selling, they're talking to our negotiators, they're talking about how to extract value, how to get value. But you cannot extract more value. Generally, you cannot extract more value than the value you give it. If you're giving somebody $1 million, then that's the maximum amount you extract from them. Like if I'm giving you $1 million benefit, I can ask you for $2 million. That's still it. But if I can bring you $10 million value, I can ask you for $5 million.
Right.
$2 million. That's very easy. But if I can bring you $2,000 value, I cannot even ask you for $1,000 because you always start thinking in this quarter. Yeah. But if you bring more value, and you can extract more value.
It's all about value creation at the end of the day.
Value creation and value extraction. Creation first, and you need to know how much you created for them. And then you need to know how to ask for your share. Yeah.
Yeah. And along with this startup, you also founded a community of around roughly 7,000 people of Vietnamese IT people in Australia.
That's right.
So what led to the idea of this? Like, how did you came up with this and what motivated you?
It was very casual. It was at the beginning, it was very casual. We were having a networking party with IT people in Melbourne. And then one of the very senior managers is well respected in the IT community in Vietnam tell me, hey, you need to set up a community for this. And I asked him, what do I need to do? I don't know how to set up a community. I don't know how to run a community. I don't know anything. Let's just set up a Facebook group. Yeah, that's easy. I can do that. And then we were joining in, we were asking questions, we were interrupting. And then I think that seen a lot of things that people need. Like startup, like a lot of IT people, I think Vietnamese people, they don't have friends a lot. Don't have a lot of friends. So they just got into Australia, they just got into January, they don't know a lot of people here. So they just want to come to somewhere that they can have some friends and have a friend. If somebody has the same background, same Vietnamese background, same IT background, they can talk about it, they can discuss and have fun with. That basic level. And then the next level, they need somebody to guide them through the career and development in Australia, and someone to do business. So there's just a lot of need, a lot of requirement. And I think that we can set up something to solve those problems. And about a year into the very casual thing, we start setting up a not-for-profit association to support the people to grow, to be more structured, to be more professional. But like the same as I said, you need to first think about, okay, what do people need? And then how do you solve those problems? And then how do you extract value from that? So you need to reinvest into it. So the ITVPA is a not-for-profit community. So any money that we don't buy, I don't get any money from that. We buy the CEO, we buy the operator, we buy people, but we need the money to buy it up, to grow the community, to bring more value. That's the perfect example on how you can look at people need, solving those needs, and then improve your obligations and scale your obligations.
Yeah, that's quite insightful. Like I kind of relate to that because in Australia, like I've felt like outside of work and because of COVID as well, you could see there's not much social interaction among people outside of work. So it could be really lonely sometimes, and this kind of communities would like-minded people would help thrive and individual interest more into, and it will also help them to gain valuable wisdoms from people in higher management positions.
That's right.
Yeah, and like you said, it was all out of interest to bring all the people together who don't have much friends and who want to grow in their career.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really to me. Like I personally, I'm part of a community called DAW, or Data Analytics Wednesdays. So they have been running this community for over 10 years, and it's really great to have different people coming every month giving talks about different topics. So it kind of just helps a person to expand their horizon outside their basic work they do every day, 9 to 5 job. Yeah, that's really good. And what do you think about the fact, like, should students be involved in part of any community or community building activity other than focusing on their technical skills to grow themselves in their career?
In some ways, a hard question, yeah. Because like, if you have been doing well in your academic, then I think you can shift some of the efforts to social, to building community, to understand. Because that allow you to connect to the people, get in the network, and so understand what's requirement in the IT sector. But if you're not doing really well, and you need to focus on the theory, then you might focus theory. So I think the question is over priorities. Now, that's something important I learned as an entrepreneur as well. There's so many things that you can do, but you need to understand your priorities. Which one you should focus now, and which one we do later. And then a lot of time, like it's not really a finish line. Some people think, okay, when I finish my high school, my life's good. When I graduate good university, my life is good. Or maybe when I graduate with GPA, good GPA, my life's good. But it's not really a finish line. You just keep to improve yourself. But that's a good thing. So if you don't think about life as a finish line, you rebalance your effort. You enjoy things here and there. You still study well, building your career, but because this is going to last for 40, 50, 60 years now, like some people work into IT in the industry. So you can spend some time for yourself. You can improve yourself. You You can relax a little bit. You can do something you love. And you can have some limit because we know that, okay, when you set a finish line at maybe 30 years old, and then the thing that you reach this finish line at 30 years old, and your life's good, and you can just keep working 100 hours, 80, 100 hours per week into your career, and hope that by 30 you can retire early. But you think that it's not a finish line, then you can keep learning. You can work 60, 40, 60, but you have a longer career. And I actually prefer the longer career because I actually really like the concept from investment, financial investment. It's called compounding interest. So compounding interest can favor the long period of time. So if you invest in something at 5% about 50 years for 40 years, it's a lot better if you invest in something 10% a year for just 20 years or 10 years. Because a lot of times it's go back and compound your whole budget. So over time, up 30, you will have a lot of reputation now, you have a lot of network now, you have a lot of insights of the industry. Your life's gonna be easier. So you want to last longer, maybe as 40, 50, 60, when you have a lot of experience in management. That's when you're at the peak of your career. You don't want to look at 50. I know a lot of people, my friend, who are 40, 45, just so tired. They have been pushing themselves too much for the last 25, 30 years, and they get tired. I don't want to be that. I actually admire Biden and Donald Trump. At 80 years, they still apply to be the president of America. It's still a while, not excellent, but still a while. Trump is doing. I don't say about his policy, but his energy, his ability to make decision is still very sharp. And he sets the peak right now because he has a lot more reputation now than 20 years ago. He says a lot of insights and wisdom now than 20 years ago. So if you can, keep your health and keep your mental at the right level, and then you will be a lot better at 60 than 40. Right? Because people will have the young is the best, and you have to push the salary and you have to learn a lot. But I see things different. I see that you at yourself, you do well, you at yourself 60 will be a lot better than your 40. Your health may not be as good, but because we are in a professional career where we start up our mind than our body, then yourself at 60 will be a lot more than yourself at 40 or even 30.
True. And I really like the analogy that you gave with the compounding interest. Like these kind of skills and collaboration, it compounds. And yeah, at certain point of time, it kind of hits exponential. Expansion. Yeah, it hits a greater curve. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, so we'll move on to career advice. As you have seen the growth of the AI industry, and there's been an argument like it's gonna take away a lot of IT jobs. So in the next 5 to 10 years, where do you see the opportunities growing for young professionals?
Definitely one of the everybody can say is to go into AI. But other than that, I think that like software engineer, we're going to be doing well, but you're not going to do the same thing as you do in the last 20 years. So, like I said at the beginning, at the very 1990s, the way we write software, the way we write website is a bit different than now. Just before AI. So before that, in 1990s, everything you want to build, you have to write the code yourself. And to build yourself in 2000, 2010, everything you want to build, there's library for that. And you need to be able to connect the library together. So that there's like one software can have thousands of library. And you need to be able to connect the library, putting things in order, and understand how the library work together to show the big picture. Now AI just speed that up because now there are a lot of bad AI can write. But if you look at it compared to the library, it's the same. So the AI now just write the library for you. But you need to be able to connect the library together to understand the big picture and also to understand logic at a higher level on how all of these can solve the problem for you. But it also, I think, with the development of AI, a lot of things will be more personalized right now. My prediction is that like, okay, right now, in the bus on the TV, everybody see the same advertisement. Everybody, but it's the same advertisement. You got the same TV channel. And then go into the internet, okay, you can customize the data. You go to this website, you go to this page, you see this different advertisement and that page. And then in 2010 with Google, every time you load the website, the advertisement is different.
Yeah.
Now, it's more personalized. I think in the next 10 years, you can see a lot more personalized as well. Like you will see there's something very different to your friend. Somebody is sitting in the same office, you see different attachments, different video, different media. Because with AI, you can generate that more. You can communicate with people more at personalized level. The same for education. Content in the past, about 500 years ago, the same teacher, the same content, the same textbook, and then in 2000, I think recently you have like different textbook, different course, different options. But with AI, even in the same course, same kind of like learning outcome, you can have different learning text, different textbook, different testing for different people. That allow you to generate the content a lot more. So I think that could change a lot of things as well.
And do you think it will be a risk for certain jobs, like basically the analyst jobs or people who are doing accounting jobs? Will AI be a risk to them?
AI will be the best for everybody. You have to change. So that's something for sure that everybody will have to change. Why do they have to change? I don't know, not very sure. For analysts right now, the basic job for a lot of analysts right now is to get the database economy, analyze what's happening. But with AI, with a lot more data, it's about connecting the dots. Okay, so for example, if you want to invest real estate in some area, for example, Williamstown, for example, in the past, you look at on the report, what's the trend, what's the up and down. But now that with satellite images, with a lot of report on the ground, you will know, okay, what time of the day is Williamstown is the busiest, what kind of people are going, what kind of budget, and how much are they spending, what kind of service. You have a lot more deeper data.
Lot more data points.
And
to
then
capture.
how do you use that data to buy a house in there or to buy the business in there in front? So how do you use all of those data? So in the past, it's just okay, this unit in Williamstown, where they usually have people, median income like this and that. But now you can see the whole range of what's the minimum income in Williamstown, what's maximum income. And then how do you personalize service and you have that advantage of the analytics. Now the analytics job will have like a lot data from a lot of different things. So even for a lot of investment firm right now, they have at least 300, 500 different data sources. And that's all just my decision.
Right. Yeah. So with this AI, like there would be a lot of data points which can be captured and which could be used for what benefit.
And then there will be a lot of fake news as well. People always try to. That's over part of the selling. We will always try to oversell themselves. So some company or some market or some business might over predict, might over report something. Okay. And now there are a lot of companies when they're not doing well, they still post a lot of job listing in the websites. Because they hope that people look at that and see that they're doing well. But if you have a lot of data point about business, you can really understand what is paper.
Yeah. And you need to have a really good insight as well about how to use this data.
That's right. So the job will be different. So there will be a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to learn faster. But there's some core thing that you need to understand. People remain the same. Business structure usually remain the same. So,
Right. Yeah. So moving on, like we'll just do some fun sessions about asking you hypothetical questions. So like if you have to give an advice to your 20-year-old self, what would it be?
it's hard. I just feel like if I know what if you had known what I in the future, for example, I know Apple is gonna, I just tell myself, okay, my Apple party card. Bây giờ số cho mất mất. Cho nên là như thật ra, buy some Bitcoin, please. Easy. 20 years ago, okay. Although I could do it, I can just see that, I can talk. But it's not seriously like, okay, if I don't know anything about the future, if I going back to my 20 with some of the wisdom, but not knowing about the financial market, Oh, wow, that's a lottery tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, today I'm more triggered.
Yeah, I think that I would tell myself to plan longer term. Because I think in the past that time that I think, okay, I just need to get it done in my life for the big one. I just need to really put in all night now and then to push it through. I think that okay, cut a little bit with some maximum amount of hours you work a week. I think 60 is good. After 60, you don't learn that much, and you may start hurting yourself, your health, or your mental. And if you really love something, you're passionate of something, that's good. But that's a limit. Try to do something else as well, so like you have more diverse experience and understand people more. I think in the past, I think that in the past, I don't always the person who asking the question, what do people need? But answer need to ask my question, okay, how do we extract value from that? How do we solve your problem as extract value from that? Because with that value, you can grow yourself, you can grow your business, you can grow your community. And if you know how to create value and extract value, then you are in a much better position.
And I feel like this might not be a fair question to you because for someone like you who had many titles, but still, I would ask anyway. Like, what career would you choose if it not IT?
I think that now, like even for me or for a lot of people nowadays, the career is not fixed anymore. In the past, you go into the career, you stay there, you move up. But the problem is, company is no longer loyal to you. Career is no longer loyal to you. Even something you do now, 10 years later, it will be different.
Yeah.
Even podcast now, like we can do podcast now. But 10 years later, maybe the podcast is different.
Yeah.
That is no longer maybe relevant. So I think that's always build yourself with different skill. So podcast is not a skill. Video editing is a skill. How to communicate with people is a skill.
Yes.
Communicate and ask question is a skill. Podcast is the product that we put to the customer to bring value to them. So always willing to train, but some of the basic skills remain the same. Okay. Logical thinking remain the same, communication remain the same, understand people remain the same. So I think that like whatever career, because maybe 10 years from now I might choose a different career. If I don't do IT, I might choose another career. But I will have to look at okay, with my career, with my skill right now, which industry I bring the most value, and which industry I might be enjoying the most. I don't have to really myself for that right now. I didn't get the market. And that because I think for some industry, the banking may not be very people with me. They are more a lot more serious than that.
But I guess, like for you who have roles in different fields, like you have seen it all from different perspectives. So it might be sometimes difficult. Or which career should I choose to? Because you have stepped into so many fields. Yeah. But thanks, Khan. Thanks for coming in. It was an incredible conversation. And if anyone wants to reach out to you, connect with you, or follow your work, where they can find you.
And I can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah. So we will be adding your LinkedIn description, LinkedIn link in the description. So yeah, they might be connected with you.
Awesome.
But yeah, all right. Thanks, Ken.
Good day.
Yes. Thanks.